Hello, travelers. Welcome to episode 17. I am Anna.
And I'm Lucas. Today we are getting lost.
We certainly are. And, isn't that part of the fun sometimes?
It can be.
I mean, getting lost is often where the real adventure starts. But today, we're going to try and give you a bit of a compass.
So getting lost is a choice, not a disaster.
Exactly. But before we get too lost, let's set the stage for what we're doing here. This is a very specific deep dive into, well, the whole world of movement.
Right. And we have a huge stack of sources here. I mean, linguistic studies, urban planning journals.
There's even some psychological data on spatial awareness, some narrative theory.
Yeah.
This is all going to be our map for today.
That's right. And the mission for this deep dive is a little different than usual.
How so?
We're not just analyzing data. We're sort of acting as guides.
I like that. A guided tour.
Yeah.
You.
We're going to navigate the vocabulary of transport. We're going to unpack the grammar of giving directions, what linguists call the imperatives.
And test our spatial awareness a bit.
Exactly. It's a mix of linguistics, psychology, and, I guess, survival skills.
It's going to be practical, but we also want it to be peaceful. It's a stress-free journey.
Well, travel can be stressful. We all know that.
It really can. So think of this as a way to, simulate the experience from the safety of your own headphones.
Exactly. And because of that, we're going to take this slowly. Really slowly. Speaking of which, I have a confession to make right at the top.
Oh, what's that?
I am terrible at directions.
Really?
Truly. It is like my greatest weakness. If you spin me around just once, I have no idea which way is north or south. My internal compass is.
Yeah.
It's just broken.
So you're a blue dot on the screen kind of person.
I rely entirely on that blue dot. So this deep dive for me is just as essential as it is for anyone listening. I need to learn this stuff too.
Well, you're in safe hands. I've got the map, and we do have a lot of ground to cover. We'll look at how we move through a city, how we ask for help when the map, fails us.
It does.
It does. And finally, we're going to play a little game to test if our brains can actually act like a GPS.
A human GPS. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can, upgrade my internal software by the end of this.
Let's start with the basics then, but maybe look at them through a new lens.
Okay.
The first segment is all about modes of transport. We have the standard list here from our source material. Bus, train, subway.
Or the underground, depending on where you are.
That's right. And then taxi, bicycle, scooter, and of course, just plain old walking.
It's a classic list, yeah. But let's dig a little deeper into what these words actually mean, socially and psychologically.
Okay, where should we start?
Let's take public transport. So the bus, the train, the subway, it's not just a vehicle, is it? It's a shared experience.
That's a great point.
Sociologists sometimes call these third places. Spaces that aren't work and aren't home, but where community happens, even if it's a silent community.
Right. It's a very specific kind of social space.
Yeah.
When you get on a bus or a subway car, you're entering a temporary community.
A temporary community, I like that.
For the next 20 minutes, you have a shared destiny with all these strangers. You're all literally moving in the same direction.
And the source material brings up some really interesting questions about that experience, which kind of dictate how we feel about our commute.
Such as?
It asks, is it crowded? Is it clean? And these aren't just, logistical questions. They're the variables that define our emotional state during that journey.
Oh, absolutely. If it's crowded, you're suddenly dealing with personal space, you're shoulder to shoulder, trying to protect your little bubble.
It triggers a sort of low-level fight-or-flight response.
It does. You become hyper-aware of your body and everyone else's.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's clean and empty, it can be one of the most peaceful parts of the day.
Oh, there's a certain romance to an empty train car late at night. It feels liminal, like you're between worlds.
I know exactly what you mean.
And then there's the comparison the source makes between driving and taking the train. This is fascinating to me.
Why is that?
Because driving is so often sold to us as this ultimate freedom, right? Commercials always show the open road, the wind in your hair.
Just you and the machine.
But the reality, especially in a city, is often just friction.
Stress. Total stress. Red lights, horns honking. You're constantly making these tiny little decisions.
Brake, gas, turn. Watch out for that pedestrian.
It's cognitively exhausting. You can't just zone out.
Precisely. Whereas the train, the source notes something really specific about the train. It says it allows for relaxing with a book.
That is a huge distinction. It's about being passive versus being active.
Right.
On a train, you surrender control. You're not driving the vehicle, which frees up your mind to do other things.
You can read, you can daydream, you can just look out the window.
You become an observer instead of an operator.
And that changes the nature of time itself. In a car, when you're stuck in traffic, time is wasted. It feels like time being stolen from your life.
But on a train, reading a book, that time is reclaimed. It becomes your time again.
I know so many people who say their commute is the only time they get to read.
I love that perspective. Okay, what about the smaller modes of transport? They're reshaping our cities. Bicycles and scooters?
Yeah, they're becoming huge. They represent a kind of individual mobility.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you're not on a fixed schedule like a bus, but you're also not sealed inside a metal box like a car.
You're out in the city.
You're exposed to it. You hear the sounds, you smell the food from the restaurants, you feel the air change. It's a much more sensory way to travel.
It's immersive. And that leads to the most fundamental mode of all, walking.
Ah, yes. The source highlights two very specific benefits of walking. One, it's free.
Can't be free.
And two, it is, and I quote, good for the planet.
That eco-friendly angle is so important. It's the only truly zero-carbon way to get around.
But it's more than that, isn't it? Beyond the environmental stuff, there's a cognitive benefit.
Yeah.
Studies show that walking at a natural pace actually helps us organize our thoughts.
Right? A lot of great thinkers, philosophers, writers,
Yeah.
they were all obsessive walkers.
It connects you to the ground. It forces you to understand the geography of a place. You can't just teleport. You have to physically cross the space.
But there's a downside.
There is. Relying on public transport or walking means you're at the mercy of the schedule or the weather. You give up that control.
And that leads us to a specific scenario in our source material that I think everyone has experienced this one.
Oh, I see it here. The action scenario.
That's the one.
The missed bus.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the instructions here say we need to bring this to life to really get the urgency of it. So you're the passenger.
Okay, I'm getting into character. I'm late. I'm stressed. I can see the bus that's just down the block at the stop.
The engine is running. You can hear that diesel rumble. The driver's checking his watch. He's ready to pull out. You have to run.
Okay, I'm running. I'm really out of breath. I'm waving my arms like a crazy person. I could see the driver.
You're getting closer. He's looking in his mirror, but he doesn't seem to see you.
Wait for me. Wait. Please.
You hear that hiss as the door closes. The bus just pulls away from the curb.
Oh, no. I missed it.
That is a universal feeling of despair, isn't it?
It really is. That horrible sinking feeling as you watch the taillights get smaller. It's a mix of anger and embarrassment and just exhaustion.
Let's unpack that, though, linguistically. You shouted, "Wait for me."
I did.
That's a crucial phrase. It's actually an imperative, which we'll get into later, but here it's a desperate plea, a command born of panic.
And it didn't work. So now I'm stranded on the sidewalk. The bus is gone. I have no idea where I am because I was just running blindly.
Which transitions us perfectly into our next segment, the art of asking for help.
This is so important. Because when the technology fails, when your phone dies or loses signal, or the bus leaves you, you have to talk to another human being.
You have to break that social bubble, and for a lot of people, that's terrifying.
We're so used to being self-reliant with our phones, aren't we?
Yeah.
Asking a stranger feels intrusive.
It does. Our source lists some key vocabulary to help bridge that gap. Excuse me, map, lost, station, bank, supermarket.
Simple words.
Simple, but they carry so much weight when you're confused.
But the most important phrase on that list, by far, has to be, excuse me.
The source actually calls this the politeness rule.
Yes. And let's talk about why that matters from a sociolinguistic perspective. Imagine you're just walking down the street, minding your own business, and someone runs up and just shouts, "Station!" in your face.
Whoa. Yeah, that would be startling and incredibly rude. I'd probably recoil. It's defensive reaction.
Exactly. It feels aggressive.
Yeah.
Station is a demand, not a request. It treats the other person like a machine, like a search engine where you just type in a keyword.
The source really emphasizes that you must always say, "Excuse me," first. It's the social lubricant.
It is. It signals, "I'm sorry to interrupt your day, but I need something."
It acknowledges the other person's existence before you ask for their help. It establishes that human connection before the transaction of information.
Precisely. Linguists call it a face-saving act. You're imposing on them, so you use politeness to soften that blow. It disarms the stranger.
So let's practice the structures that are in the source. I'll be the local on the street. You be the lost traveler again.
Okay. Be polite this time, though. No barking nouns at me.
I'm ready.
All right. Excuse me, where's the station?
T, Much better. Immediately, as the person being asked, I want to help you, the whole tone changes. I feel empathy, not annoyance.
Okay, let's try another one. Excuse me, how do I get to the library?
Perfect. How do I get to is such a great phrase. It asks for a process, a set of directions, not just a single location.
It shows you're ready to listen to instructions.
It does. It shows you're willing to do the work if I can just give you the path.
Okay, so I've asked politely. Now, the person I've asked is going to give me those directions. And this brings us to the heavy lifting of today's deep dive.
Yes. Segment 3, grammar, focus, the imperative.
The imperative.
This is one of my favorite grammatical concepts because it's so incredibly efficient. It's the engine of action.
Tell us about it. What is the imperative exactly?
The imperative is the mood of the verb we use for telling people what to do. So it's for instructions, orders, directions, things like that. The source highlights the structure very clearly. It says just the verb.
And it explicitly says, no, you.
Right. In English, we don't say, you go left. We just say, go left. We drop the subject because it's obvious who we're talking to.
It makes the language very direct and fast.
It's purely functional. It strips away all the decoration.
That makes sense.
Think about high-stakes situations. Surgeons, pilots, military personnel, they speak almost entirely in imperatives. Scalpel, pull up, go.
There's no time for, would you mind possibly turning left?
Exactly. When you're navigating, you're in a sort of micro-crisis. You need absolute clarity.
And because it's so important for navigating, the source material has a mandatory drill for us. We need to lock these phrases into our brains.
Build some muscle memory for the mind.
That's it. It has to be automatic. If you have to stop and think about the grammar while you're driving, you're going to crash.
I agree.
Okay, I'm going to lead this drill. I'll give an instruction, and I'm going to repeat it 3 times, very slowly. For everyone listening, I want you to really visualize this movement as I say it.
Don't just hear the words, see the action.
Exactly. Imagine your body moving through space. Ready?
Let's do this.
Okay. Instruction number 1. This is for moving forward. Go straight on. Go straight on. Go straight on.
Simple, effective. You're not turning. You're continuing on your path. Straight on implies confidence. Don't deviate.
Okay. Instruction number 2. We're coming up to a junction. Turn left at the traffic lights. Turn left at the traffic lights. Turn left at the traffic lights.
See the specificity there? It's not just turn left, it's at the traffic lights. That's the landmark.
You turn before the lights, you're lost.
Exactly. The imperative connects the action to the location. It anchors the movement to a physical thing in the world.
All right. Instruction number 3. We need to get to the other side. Cross the street. Cross the street. Cross the street.
This implies a transition, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're leaving the safety of the sidewalk. It's an active command.
And our last one. Instruction number 4. We're navigating by landmarks. Go past the cinema. Go past the cinema. Go past the cinema.
Go past. That's such a crucial phrase. It means you don't stop there. You see the cinema, you acknowledge it, and then you keep going until it's behind you.
It's a checkpoint, not a destination.
Right. It tells you you're on the right track, but you're not there yet.
Now there's one more imperative that's crucial for safety. It's usually shouted.
The most important one of all.
Stop.
Whoa.
Did I scare you?
A little, but that's the point, isn't it? Stop is an
Mhm.
imperative that saves lives. It has to be sharp. It has to cut through all the other noise.
Exactly. It overrides everything else.
Yeah.
If I say go straight, but then I scream, stop, you listen to the stop.
It's the emergency brake of language.
So we have our vocabulary, our polite requests, and our imperative directions. Now, let's see what happens when those directions go horribly wrong.
I do love a good story about a travel disaster. It makes me feel better about my own lack of direction.
It reminds us that getting lost is a human universal.
It is.
This is segment 4, Storytime. And the story is called The Lost Taxi Driver.
Oh, that sounds promising, or worrying if you're the passenger watching the meter tick up.
Let's find out. I'm going to read this with some energy.
Yeah.
I want you to picture this scene. It's New York City, chaos.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Skyscrapers, yellow taxis everywhere, steam coming out of the vents on the street.
Here we go. Mr. Smith arrived in New York City. He jumped into a yellow taxi. Take me to the Grand Hotel, please, he said.
A simple request. The Grand Hotel. Sounds famous. Any cab driver should know it.
The taxi driver was new. It was his first day. He drove fast. Vroom.
Vroom. Okay, so he's speeding, maybe overcompensating for not knowing where he's going.
Interesting theory. He turned left. Then he turned right. Then left again.
Oh, he's zigzagging. That is not a good sign. He's improvising. He's trying to look confident while being totally lost.
Mr. Smith looked out the window. This is not the hotel.
So Mr. Smith is paying attention. He knows the area doesn't look right.
The driver said, "Don't worry, I know a shortcut."
Ah, the famous shortcut. That is always a red flag. The phrase, "I know a shortcut," usually comes right before a disaster.
They drove for 1 hour.
1 hour in a taxi in New York. That must have cost a fortune. You could leave the city entirely in an hour.
Finally, the taxi stopped. "Here we are," said the driver. Mr. Smith looked. It was not the hotel.
Don't leave me hanging. Where was it?
It was the airport. They were right back where they started.
No, you're kidding. He drove in a giant circle.
Mr. Smith walked to the hotel.
Wow. That is tragic, but also hilarious. It's the perfect illustration of what happens when you trust a shortcut from someone who doesn't know the way.
It's almost a fable, isn't it? And it brings us back to our earlier point about walking. Mr. Smith eventually had to walk.
Sometimes it's slower, but it's the only way to be sure you'll actually arrive.
The taxi driver was so disconnected, just speeding through the city without understanding it at all.
Absolutely. The driver was focused on speed, not direction. He was turning left and right, but he had no sense of the relation between places. He didn't know where the hotel was relative to the airport.
He lacked a mental map.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect transition to segment 5. Prepositions of place.
Yes.
Navigation isn't just about movement. Go left, go right. That's what we call egocentric navigation. It's all about you and your body.
Okay, so what's the other kind?
Real navigation is about understanding where things are in the world relative to each other. That's allocentric navigation.
Allocentric, so centered on other things.
Exactly. It's knowing that north is that way, no matter which way you happen to be facing at the moment.
And the source gives us a list of keywords for these relationships. Next to, opposite, between, behind, and in front of.
They're small words, but they paint the entire picture. Without them, a map is just a list of names. With them, it's a structure. They're the glue that holds the world together in our minds.
Let's build a little hypothetical town using the examples in the source. Let's make a mental model right now. We've got a bank, a post office, a park, and a school.
Okay, let's place them. How do they relate to each other?
Well, according to our notes, the bank is located next to the post office.
Next to, side by side. Which makes sense logically, doesn't it? You get your money, you buy your stamps, it's the business district.
They share a wall. They're partners on the street.
Okay.
And then we have the green space, the park. The source says the park is located opposite the school.
Opposite, across the street, face to face.
You can just imagine the kids looking out the window during class, staring at the park, wishing they were over there.
It creates a real relationship between the buildings, doesn't it? The school faces the park. The bank is beside the post office. Now we have a mental map. We're not just memorizing a list, we're visualizing a scene.
You can see the street in your mind.
You can?
And that mental mapping is exactly what we're going to need for our final segment.
I'm nervous and excited for this. I told you, my mental map is usually just a blank page. But I feel ready to try.
Segment 6, the human GPS game. This is our interactive finale.
Okay, explain the rules to me and to our listener.
Here's the concept. You are going to be the navigator. You have the map in your head.
Okay, I'm loading the map, downloading data, calibrating my internal sensors.
I am the traveler, and so is everyone listening. You're going to give us a set of directions. We have to follow them in our minds, visualizing ourselves walking down the street. When you say stop, we have to guess where we are.
Got it. So I need to speak very slowly, give everyone time to picture the turns. This is an exercise in working memory.
Exactly. First, let's establish the map for everyone. Listeners, picture a single long street. Here is the order of the buildings from start to finish.
Laying down the map now.
First, the station. Imagine the trains. Then the bank. Imagine the money. Then the park. Green grass. Then the zoo. Here the lions. And finally, at the end of the street, the cinema. You can smell the popcorn.
Okay. Let me repeat that just to lock it in. Station, bank, park, zoo, cinema, all in a line on one street.
Got it. Okay, you're the navigator. Take us away. Round 1.
All right. Everyone ready? Close your eyes if it helps you visualize, but not if you're driving. Here we go. Start at the station.
Okay, at the station.
Go straight. Pause. Go past the bank. Pause. Stop. What is on your left?
Okay, started at the station.
Right.
Went straight. I went past the bank. So the next thing on the list is the park. Is it the park?
It is the park, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a good warm-up. I could see the bank going by on my left. Let's do round 2.
All right, resetting position. We are starting from a new location this time. Ready?
Ready?
Start at the park, turn right, which means we're moving down the line away from the station. Walk for 5 minutes. Pause. Go past the zoo. You can hear the animals. Pause. Stop. What is in front of you?
Okay. I started at the park. I walked past the zoo. The thing after the zoo on our list is the cinema.
Spot on. You have arrived at the movies. Time for some popcorn.
Okay, I'm feeling confident now. Give me the hard mode.
Round 3. This one is tricky. It involves turning around, so you'll have to reverse the map in your head. Listen very carefully.
I'm concentrating.
Start at the cinema.
Okay, end of the street.
Turn around. Pause. Go back past the zoo. Pause. Go past the park. Pause. Turn left. Cross the street. Stop.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is a real test. I was at the cinema. I turned around, so I'm heading back toward the station. I passed the zoo. I passed the park, so the next building back should be the bank. I turned left and crossed the street, so I must be facing the bank.
You did it! You navigated all the way back to the financial district. Well done.
That was intense. I could actually see the buildings in my head. I had to physically count them backwards.
And that's the power of language, isn't it? With just a few simple imperatives, turn, go, cross, and some prepositions, we can build a whole world in our minds. We can transfer a map from my brain to yours.
We really can. Well, travelers, we have come a long way today.
We have.
We started by missing a bus and feeling that commuter despair. We learned how to politely ask for help. We mastered the imperative drill.
We heard the tragic tale of Mr. Smith and his taxi driver.
And we became human GPS systems.
It's been quite a journey, and we did it all without, actually leaving our chairs.
Before we go, what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean?
Well, if I connect it all together, I keep thinking about that taxi driver. He tried to take a shortcut, and he ended up right back where he started.
A cautionary tale.
It is. It makes me think that maybe the shortcut isn't always the best way. In a world that's so obsessed with speed-fast taxis, fast trains, maybe there's real value in the slow way.
Walking.
Walking. Observing the prepositions, noticing what is next to what.
That's a beautiful thought. Is it better to rush and get yourself lost, or to walk slowly and actually understand where you are?
Something for all of you to think about as you head out into the world.
Indeed. Thank you for getting lost with us today.
Safe travels, everyone.
Good.